We've got a group here called Trio from Beyond Plus One. A rather exciting name, and I think the music is just as exciting. Listen. Trio from Beyond Plus One here on CultureShare. You know, I had the opportunity of talking to the leader of the group, that is John Paris out of Brooklyn, and we discussed the exciting, new and unique style which the group Trio from Beyond Plus One really has. Let's take a look at that interview.
We were a trio for about a year and a half, and then I decided to add on a saxophone player, so we call it Plus One as opposed to calling it Quartet from Beyond. And then we added on a vocalist, so I kept Plus One. So there'll always be the three of us, but there'll always be a Plus One. Okay. It could be another vocalist or another guitarist or whatever.
What kind of music are you into?
Myself, I listen to a lot of jazz, a lot of R&B. I grew up listening to Motown through the 1960s, and that's inside of me. All of us come from different backgrounds, musical backgrounds, and it meshes together to make a unique style of music, which I call progressive new music.
Progressive new music. What kind of people you find going into that? And my obviously next question would be, where do you perform that kind of a music?
Well, we have a lot of, I guess you call them the yuppies. They seem to like what we're doing. Heavy metal fans, they like the guitaristics and the gymnastics that the band has. We have a heavy R&B bass there, so if you can dance to it. There's always a groove that's carried there.
Where do you play? In the Village, Brooklyn, or where?
We play mainly in the Village and in the Soho area, a club called Wetlands, CBGB's. There was a place called the Canteen, which we played around also, and we hit those clubs on a regular basis.
I'm not too sure what I heard you correctly just now, but you said the folks love the gymnastics, among other things, in the band. Are you suggesting that your music is choreographed, so to speak?
Musically choreographed. There's a lot of... the band has a high technical level, and that comes out in the music when we just express ourselves on our instruments. The way a gospel singer would express his or herself when they're singing, we express ourselves through our instruments.
Coming from different backgrounds, do you see yourself at an advantage with some from the United States, some from the Caribbean, so to speak? Do you see yourself at an advantage there in being able to put out a different mix, a different fusion?
Yes, I do, because that background, if we were just, say, all from Brooklyn, there's going to be a certain sound that would just be there, and eventually that sound's going to die out. But because we all come from different backgrounds, each of us has something unique to bring to the band, so therefore it never really gets boring to us as musicians or to our audience.
I see. How long has the group been together now?
We just celebrated our 2nd anniversary. We've been together for 2 years and 2 months.
Any albums or singles to your credit as yet?
Not as a group. We've all done individual things. The vocalist has a demo that he's shopping around. I did an album 5 years ago. I also just did a demo with a girl called Fonda Ray. We're always working with another group called Coral Island. So all of us are into different projects. And we bring that back to the group.
I hope to your advantage. One other question. You said that you're currently shopping around, hoping to come out with something. What are you hoping to bring? What kind of music? The music that we get in the clubs where you play, or are you going to be experimenting further on wax?
Probably a little bit of both. You give something that the people want to hear, because there's no need to make records if no one's going to buy them. But at the same time, you want to advance, educate your listeners, as opposed to just playing the same old thing year in, year out. For instance, look at Motown and look at rap. Rap is an extension of that. The roots of the R&B are still there, but they're bringing in technology, the synthesizers, the sequencers, the keyboards that you have back here, which went around and are available 2 years ago.
How far have you gotten towards getting your work on wax?
We've recorded about half a record so far, which we did the early part of last year, and we're about to go in and do some more. And then we'll remix it and sit down and listen to it and make any final corrections, and then hopefully get it out.
Having something new, so to speak, that particular unique blend, do you see this creating a problem, let us say, for getting a producer who might be interested in your work, or has it worked to your advantage?
Well, we've been accused of being very stubborn with our music, but we're flexible. We are flexible, and we have, as I said, many different interests in music. So if we're doing R&B, the first song we're going to do is an R&B type tune, and it features, has a hip-hop section, it has a funk section, has a reggae section, and it's all inside of one tune. So there's something there for everybody. Now, if I was to release that, I may put out, let's say, the hip-hop section for a station like KISS or WBLS. We might release just the reggae section for another station that plays that type of music, but then on the album, you get the whole track.
Tell me about the members in the group, who they are and where they're from.
On bass, we have Roy Lewis, he's from Grenada. On drums, we have Reginald Sylvester, he's from Brooklyn. My name is John Purvis, and I'm from Brooklyn also. And Dean currently lives in Mount Vernon, New York.
John, thank you ever so much, and we'd love to have you on the show as soon as the record comes out. John Paris from Trio From Beyond, +1 here on CultureShare, and we do sincerely hope you enjoyed that interview. It did bring out some information for us here on CultureShare.